Hi guys, welcome back to another mini lesson. Today we're going to work on algebraic equations. We're going to work on equations that involve multiplication, division, and multi-steps. So I'm going to be using the whiteboard today so that you can see what we're doing. And we're going to hope that our markers work because they keep fading on me. I'm running out. All right, so with that in mind, the first problem that I'm going to do is 7x equals 21. So if you ever see a problem that has the letter and a number right next to it, what that means is multiplication. So you could write that as 7x times x equals 21. Looks really weird with the two x's, but let me do one big. There you go. So 7x times x equals 21. Now, in order to get rid of the 7 on this side, we need to divide. So we're going to divide by 7 on this side and divide by 7 on the other side. Okay, that's a division. So 7 divided by 7, 1. 1 times x is just x. So x equals 21 divided by 7. Well, if you don't want to do the math in your head and you have a multiplication chart, we can use that. We're just going to practice with this for now. So 7 goes into 21 how many times? 3. Did you know that you could use a multiplication chart and reverse that way? You do now. So x equals 3. So that's a multiplication problem. Let's do one more multiplication problem so that we know how to do it. So this one is 2t equals 20. So that is 2 times t equals 20. Okay? So in order to get rid of it, we want to divide. Okay, so that would make it 1. 1 times t is just t. And 20 divided by 2, okay, 2 goes into 20 10 times. So t equals 10, all right? So that's multiplication. That's super easy. Now, if we were doing division, it would look something like this. X divided by 6 equals 2. Okay, now in order to get rid of the x, so that's division if you see it like that. They don't always write it like this when it's a problem like that. They put it underneath because a fraction is basically just a division problem. So it would be x 6 times x over 6 equals 2 times 6. Okay, so 6 times 6 is just 1. X over 1 is just a whole number. It's that number. So it's x. Okay, 2 times 6. We'll let you use the chart this time, but not always. 2 go down to the 6 is 12. So on this problem, x equals 12. Okay, now let's try another division problem. Let's do f 20 equals 5. Okay, so 20 divided by f. Oh, no, I got to switch that because we haven't taught you how to do that one yet. Sorry. F 20 over f equals 5. I think that's right. Miss K has to think a little bit. I had it right the first time. F over 20. Okay, so because we want it to be the division part. So that's divided by 20 equals 5. Uh-oh. What divided by 20 equals 5? This is a hard one when you think about it. All right, so we're going to do some higher level math. So to get rid of the f, so that's division, we're going to have to times 20. Times 20. All right. So that would make that canceled out. It would make it 1, and 1 over f is just f. And this is 5 times 20. So the best way to do this is 5 times 2, which is 10, and then just add another 0. F equals 100. So 100 over 20 equals 5. Kind of cool. All right. So now, did you notice that I was a little confused about how to write it because I had to think about how to write it first? If I did it as the reverse, (20 over f equals 5. Now we're solving for the division part. So this makes it a little bit more complicated. So we need to get this to stand alone. So what I like to do is I like to just do the reverse. 20 over 5 equals f. So in this instance, we just switch the 5 and the f because that's what it's going to equal. So 20 divided by 5, you can use your multiplication chart. 5 goes into 20 4 times. So 4 equals f. And you can check your work by going, does 4 go into 20 5 times? Yes, it does. So you have to remember, if the f is on the bottom, you're just replacing those numbers. But if the f is on the top, you're multiplying. So there's two things to think about. But for the most part, you're going to usually have the f on the top. All right. So now we're going to do a two-step problem. So I have 3v plus 3 equals 33. That's a lot of threes. All right. So the first thing we need to do is we need to get rid of the 3. We're going to do this in the reverse we normally do. Normally you do multiplication first, but we're going to get rid of the excess first so that we have a number that we need. So in order to get rid of that 3, we need to minus 3. So we're going to minus 3 on both sides. So that makes it 3v equals 30. And now we know that if this is 3 next to the v, it's multiplication. So we're going to divide by 3. And that equals v equals 10. Okay? So we do it the reverse way we normally would do a problem. We want to do the subtraction and addition first, then the multiplication and division. Normally you want to do it reversed. But these are problems that we're trying to find what the answer is, not the solution. So the solution is what equals, but the number there is what we're trying to find. All right? So next problem. 2r plus 3 equals 19. So we need to minus the 3 on both sides. Okay, 19 minus 3 is 16. Okay, and then we're going to divide by 2. R equals 2 goes into 16 8 times. Ta-da! Okay, let's do 2 more. All right, I'm going to make this one a little bit more complicated because we're getting into a negative number. Okay? So a negative number, the best way to explain is if you have a number line, 0 is here, you have 1, 2, 3, 4. Negative numbers are the opposite side of the zeros. Okay? So if you are saying, I have negative 2, but I'm going to add 2, okay, so adding always goes this way. Negative 2 plus 2, 1, 2, you would have 0. If you have negative 2 minus 2, minus goes this way. 1, 2, you would have 4. So the negatives actually work opposite of each other. Okay? So we're going to subtract the 4 the same way we do, but now we know that a negative and a negative add together. So this one is gotten rid of, so now it's negative 2 equals, and 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Negative 12. Now, when you divide by 2, we're getting rid of, crossing out, because a negative and a negative divided is a positive. So D would equals 12 divided by 2. Just 12 divided by 2. You don't have to think of anything else because those are 2 negatives, is 6. negative numbers are confusing, but we're going to try working on it. Okay? Okay, so let's do one more negative and see how it goes. Negative 3y minus 2 equals negative 8. Okay? So, in order to get to that minus 2, we need to plus 2. So that's going to subtract because it's the opposite. So it's negative 3y equals 8 minus 2 minus 6. Okay? We're going to divide by 3. Negative and negative. So y equals 2. Okay? Let's do one more to see if we can get that really straight in our head. This one's going to be a little bit more complicated because it's looking for what the negative number is. Okay? Negative u plus 10 equals 30. Okay, so here's something unusual we have to do. First, we have to get rid of this. So 30 minus 10 is 20. But we need to get rid of a negative because it's saying a negative u. So let's put the negative here, which means to put it here. Okay, so that means u would equal a negative 20. Because a negative times a negative makes it a positive, which would make it 20 plus 10, which equals 30. So it needs to be a negative in order for that math to work. It's a little confusing, but maybe I'll talk about negative and positive numbers more when we come back. All right? Take care, guys. See you later.